Hello, beautiful friends. It is Rachel Archelaus here, and I want to read you this book. It's called Above the Surface. It is by me, and there are poems in here by Scott Keeney. This is an amazingly uplifting tale of adventure and finding out who you really are. So, let's go. This is a signed copy. If you would like a signed copy for yourself, you can go to abovethesurfacebook.com. I'm not going to read you every single page, but I'll read you the story. So there is a prologue that I will skip for now, even though it is incredibly beautiful. It is also illustrated by me. Once upon a time, there was a Rachel. She was always drawing and dancing her way through life. One day, she came across a man whose spirit asked her to stop dancing and start swimming. Being drawn to the ocean all her life, she paused to consider this new direction. She felt the currents and the temperature and decided she would dip in carefully and draw the water. Once upon a time, there was a Rachel. She was always drawing and prancing her way through life. One day, she came across a man whose spirit asked her to stop swimming and start flying. Being drawn to the clouds all her life, she paused to consider this new direction. She felt the currents and the temperature and decided that she would float up carefully and draw the air. Once upon a time, there was a Rachel. She met a man whose spirit asked her to sink beneath the earth. After careful consideration of the ramifications this would have on her dancing and prancing and swimming and flying, she decided to dive in. She made quick friends with the brown earthworms and gray moles. One day, she received a package from the moon. She carefully tore back the brown paper shell to reveal a silver box which was covered in writing. She copied the words down onto pieces of shale lying about beneath the earth. Each time she thought she was done, there were new words. She sat for days transcribing words from this magical silver box until suddenly she had come to the end. One day she came across a friendly hermit crab who offered his shell to her. She was delighted and moved in immediately. He left her a desk, a chair, and a candle so she could view her recordings in the light with a comfortable place to sit. "Wow," she said, "these are so similar to the drawings I made in the sky and in the ocean and on the land. I wonder why that is." She gave herself as much time as she needed to figure this out. Such different landscapes and creatures surrounded them, yet they produced such similar results. "I must go back to the earth and dance under the moon until I find the answer." She packed up her shale and dug a fresh tunnel to the surface. Instead of dancing, she found an inviting spot in the grass, beside a stream and under the clouds. She spread all of her art out and had the sky and the water deliver her other materials. She put herself in the middle of a huge circle of drawings from all the places in the world. She matched up stone tablets of the moon's words to her drawings and noted the slight differences in representation. What set each location apart from the others? It wasn't the creatures she met or the landscape, it was the presence of the moon. "I have to tell my friend the man who sent me on all of these adventures." So excited at sharing the news, she compiled a book of her travels to give him. She asked him by way of the sparrow to meet her at the spot where she lay next to the stream, under the clouds and upon the grass. She shone with anticipation as she awaited him. The bees and ladybugs gathered round, and the vast gardens bloomed and leaned in their direction. When he arrived, he sat beside her to receive this book. And this book is the part I'm going to skip for now. It has really beautiful art and poetry. And even if you're not a poetry fan, you'll really like this. Some of it's pretty sexy, and just some of it else is just pretty smart. I'll read you one. This is what is on the cover. Bow down and die. So cool and intellectual, we didn't know what to do, so we cut up sentences, images, words, and scattered them, like Osiris our father, over the stone and bone of blank digital pages, when all along all we wanted was to make a song people wanted to sing. I love that. Okay, are you guys ready for the last page? Oh my goodness. Do you know who they are? Can you guess who the man is? And who Rachel is? We're gonna find out. A hummingbird came by and whispered into her ear, "This man is the moon, my dear, and you are the sun. You dance and prance and float and fly through the sky and on the earth so we can all receive your light. You swim through the seas and oceans and streams so the waters are warm and sparkle from their depths. You dove into the earth to warm the soils and let the moon rise into the sky. He gave you his words so you could draw their magnificence up to the surface. What do I do now, Lady Hummingbird, now that I know why I have so many wonderful adventures and why our recordings all seem so similar? Give them to the moon, my dear. He shines by your reflection. He lets you rest beneath the earth and feeds you the words of the night." So grateful was the sun that she shone brighter and longer that season than ever before. The moon in turn glowed with more vigor and made rainbows for the surrounding clouds to dance in. Each night the moon painted his words in the fading sky, and the sun drew her pictures in the sunset. Such a beautiful tale. I love this. I read this all the time. Here's about the authors. I read this when I want some inspiration. I read this when I just want to feel warm and fuzzy. I read this when I need to remember who I am. I read this when I'm wondering about, like, how come there's so many amazing people on this planet? I love reading this book, and I read it all the time. I like to think of it as a song, like your favorite song. You're going to want to play it over and over again. It's not just a book you read once, it's a book you can read as often as you like, and I highly recommend it. So if you want to get yours, you can go to Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Powell's, whatever, or in Above the Surface book to get a signed copy from us. Thank you guys so much. I really enjoyed this. See you later. By the way, I'm like totally feeling this look. I feel like it's a really good mix between me and Intimate Alien, especially with the glasses. And Sasha Valor. I love this shirt. Yes, Sasha. Okay, bye.